Now, you know when he heard the nuts and bolts of the story, he was like, what you doing? Menacing in white folks' yard late at... Huh? Oh, it was his house? And she was at night? And he was coming home? He must have been going to sell, but he wasn't selling drugs? He was coming home from work? I got to dig deep into my bag on this one. Hey, shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
Why did you attack that reporter this week, snatch his phone, and scratch him with what looks to be some pretty aggressive nails there? Looks like you got some real claws on you.
Child, Benny, first of all, Benny, okay, let me tell you something, okay? See, that reporter ran up on me, okay? And y'all, and first of all, I don't even like the introduction, okay? You didn't even mention that I was a lawyer, okay? I went to law school. See, when these white guests come on here, Benny, when these white folks come on here, see your little white self, yeah, you talk about their accomplishments, but you didn't even bring up mine, okay? See, this is how y'all do black people. This is how y'all do black women.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now, Black Maga, and I am so glad that so many of you guys have collected here today, because I've addressed a lot of you individually at different times, but every now and again, it's important that you guys come together and really form a coherent message. Now, I've been seeing a lot of the responses and comments and backlash to Don Lemon.
It's the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that, I just said, I think there can be sincere Republicans.
But you can't be a sincere black Republican?
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
That's right. The truth is often insulting. You cannot be a rational black MAGA. Now, let me see. Have we seen any rational black MAGAs? Oh, I see you back there, Rob Smith. Now, we've spoken to you before, have we not?
I'm going to tell you why black men are never going to vote for Kamala Harris, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she is quote-unquote black, because she's not even black. Black men are never going to vote for Kamala Harris because over the next 3 to 4 months, we are all going to be basically hit with this onslaught of all of these black women that are going to be telling black men that if they do not shut up and they do not get in line behind Kamala Harris, then they're all these sorts of things. They're going to be calling us all kinds of dogs. We hate black women. We don't respect them, etc., etc. And the same black women, okay, that are going to be elevated by the media and that are going to be going on all these cable news networks and doing all of this stuff on the internet, they are the same black women that black men can't stand. It is going to remind black men of every bitter baby mama. It is going to remind black men of every neck swiveling, bad attitude, masculinized black woman that they have ever dealt with in their entire life. It is going to remind them of their single mothers and their aunties that basically verbally abused and disrespected them while they were growing up because the black men in their lives left them, and these young black men and these black boys were left to bear the brunt of that abuse.
That's right. Only real black men carry with them the scars of a childhood that makes them hate every black woman. And then there's the Cartier family.
There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women. So let me be.
That's not what we arguing about, bitch.
Actually, I wasn't even talking about that part. I was talking about where they tried to dunk on Jasmine Crockett for talking about how educated black women were in defense of DEI by saying, well, nobody brings up y'all are the lowest paid.
I think her response to immediately go to pointing out how black women are the highest earning demographic is completely irrelevant.
That was the
You're also
dumbest
the
shit I've
lowest,
ever
the
heard.
least married, and the lowest earning, but no one ever brings those stats up.
Also
But you want to
abortions,
highlight
all type of shit.
the paper, the education and degrees. Like, come on, guys, let's really focus on the substance of an argument and stop pulling up, grasping for straws here.
The comedy writes itself. The comedy writes itself. And then there is Officer Tatum, who defended a woman for being in a black man's yard with her kids as he tried to pull into his driveway.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do? I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing here?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
I know you guys have seen the last couple of days I've made videos about Michelle Bishop, who's a young lady that was at the doorstep of what I consider to be a con artist. And she was, in my opinion, honestly afraid because of the behaviors of this guy that lives there. And given the fact that he wanted to be a social justice warrior, in my opinion, and wanted clout and want to make it a race thing when this should have been over a day of.
Now, you know, when he heard the nuts and bolts of the story, he was like, what you doing? Menacing in white folks' yard late at, huh? Oh, it was his house? Is she was at night? And he was coming home? He must have been going to sell, but he wasn't selling drugs. He was coming home from work. I got to dig deep into my bag on this one. A bag so deep, it's only eclipsed by Candace Owens herself.
Finish this response. God is good. Amen.
I've never seen that before, ever in my life. I mean, there's never been a time that I've yelled out, God is good, and somebody didn't answer. God is good! All the time!
But why do you say all the time back?
Bitch.
What year was Cash Money Records taken over for? Oh, gosh, I know the answer to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Juvie. Like what? Cash Money Records taken over this year? The fuck? No, you're not talking about Girl, You Look Good, Won't You?
Yes. And then who's yelling in the back? Fine. You too, Stephen A.
It wasn't so much that he was supportive of white supremacists and he was this racist and all of this stuff like people were saying. I didn't engage in that incendiary rhetoric because I've always believed that Donald Trump was just somebody who did things that were politically expedient. If supporting one side was going to generate votes for him, he would flow with it. And if it was not going to support his cause, he wasn't. It's just simple. It's just that simple.
Now, there's a lot of you that I cannot mention and address by name, but I can get a whole lot of you because I remember y'all from being at that White House Black History Month celebration.
Let me fix my bow tie. We at the White House? We back in here?
That's right. Y'all sat there and clapped when he nominated his pardon czar, of course, a real position, which I'm sure she'll be being paid for, a pardon czar after promising police immunity in freezing the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. Not to mention, y'all showed up in the first place after he threatened to cancel any and all Black History Month celebrations. This might be the first here and damn Black History Month celebration since the turn of the century. No, that's probably not. That's probably, W probably had a couple of those too.
I look so good in the red.
I'm pretty sure the invitations for that celebration just said, here ends damn, just right at the top. It was here ends damn Black History Month celebration. I hope you're proud of yourselves. And by the way, he's only accelerated all of those. I look forward to hearing from all of you guys who were at attendance at his Black History Month celebration about the elimination of all of the Black achievements within the military. I look forward to hearing from you guys on that. And not to mention the recruiting. Now they're going after brothers for their follicles. That's where they at now. So really, when Don Lemon said they can't be a rational Black Mac, is that Lawrence Jones? The dude from Fox News? Oh, I've been waiting to holler at you. No, I've been waiting to get, he bad as Harris Faulkner.
And I got to tell you, if they become the majority, we're in trouble. I mean, do you want people whose motto is, and they took this right out of the 50s and 60s, battle by day, love at night, which needs birth control and dental dams and food.
Hey, Lawrence Jones, this you?
So Tom, what's next? Because I'm getting a little worried about the manpower. These guys they have to be tired. You got 30 guys in a stack going on different busts every single day. You're going to run out of money. It doesn't look like you're getting support from the Democrats on this. You're going against the judges now. What's next?
Another flight every day. The teams are going to be out there every day. Every day, the men and women of ICE are going to be in the neighborhoods of this nation arresting criminal, illegal alien, public safety threats, and national security threats. Lawrence, you're not going to stop us. We made a promise to the American people. The President Trump has made a promise to American people. We're going to make this country safe again. I wake up every morning loving my job because I work for the greatest president in the history of my life, and we're going to make this country safe again. I'm proud to be a part of this administration. We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming.
Yeah. I just love seeing you going through these protesters just crunching on the apple as their liberal tears just flood the hallway.
Now, let's address what Tom Homan was saying first. He is puffing out his chest and talking about defying judicial orders. What he's talking about is violating the checks and balance of power as laid out in the Constitution. That's what he's openly putting out. Something so problematic, even the Trump press secretary had to clean it up. And she don't clean up nothing. You see all that stuff that comes out of his True Social account that just is as nonsensical as somebody sitting on the keyboard? They don't clean that up. But this was so problematic, she had to clean it up.
I want to ask about an administration spokesperson who's the Border Czar, Tom Homan. He was on Fox News.
We love Tom Homan.
And he was talking about the deportations, and he said the following. He said, "We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think," which seems to me, just reading that, that you don't care what orders come from the federal bench. Is that the case? Can you clarify that, please?
Well, I think since you just quoted Tom, I'll quote Tom. He said, "I don't care what the judges think, but I can assure you that the administration is complying with the court order. And as I've said repeatedly from this podium, all of the flights that were subject to the judge's written order departed before the written order, and we are prepared to make that case in court later this afternoon."
Which brings me to you, Lawrence Jones. So you just heard an administration official talk about defying judicial orders, and your response is to talk about liberal tears? That's your response. Your response to an official of the executive branch talking about violating, because let's play the tape through, Lawrence. Let's go ahead and play the tape through. So the idea is if they can violate judicial orders, well, then the law has absolutely no limits or effect on what they are able to do. And if the law doesn't have any limits or effect on what they're able to do, why would it have any limits or effects on what anybody is able to do? What we are talking about is the elimination of law, like law, all law. Like what we're talking about is how anarchy happens when you assert that the judicial branch doesn't matter and we don't care about law. Now, why might that be problematic for a black man to hear? Like that seems like that would be concerning for a black man to hear that all of a sudden laws don't matter and it is open season and anarchy. I believe we may have seen chapters like that in American history before, but in the context of all of that, where you decide to go is talking about liberal tears. And that's after you gave him props for chewing on the apple as he walks through protesters being rounded up, which another thing we have seen is one of the ways they are trying to suppress dissent is by rounding up people without charges, as we've seen with Mahmoud Khalil. Now you see where, as a member of the press, the idea of people being suppressed based on their opinion and the complete trampling of the First Amendment might be a problem for you. You see where that might be concerning, that we see where that might be a problem, but you sat up there and gave him a backslap. Actually, you probably ain't allowed to touch him. So he patted you on the back of the head and you decided, like Byron Donald style, he gave you the pat on the back of the head. You decided you were going to give him props for chewing on the apple and then talk about liberal tears when he admits he has the intention of violating judicial orders. You probably should have got a whole video. You probably should have got a whole. You know what? You and Harris, I'm gonna deal with you and Harris. Yeah, it's gonna be like a whole ebony and ivory thing. Or I guess ivory and ivory. You know, like salt and salt. That's exactly how it feels when I consume y'all's content. It's very unbalanced. So when you look at what Don, is that Leverne Spicer? Hey, take her helmet off.
Hi, this message is for Jasmine Crockett, who is acting like she is straight from the hood. Jasmine, we know that you are not even hood material, while you around here acting like a straight up fucking hood rat. I just want you to know, first of all, you got us fucked up to the highest of fucked uptivity, okay? Now, you told people when they see Senator Ted Cruz, they should hit him straight in the head. Then you call Governor Abbott. Poor man in a wheelchair. Mr. Hot Wheels. You know, that shit is totally embarrassing, chick. You made it to fucking Congress, okay? You in fucking Congress acting like a whole ghetto ass motherfucking bunny, which you are not. And on the other hand, we have Republicans that are not even willing to address you. But guess what, motherfucker? I will. I'm Leverne Spicer, and I think that you are one fucked up hot ass ghetto bunny ass motherfucking mess.
Hey, Leverne Spicer, this you? I know all the folks want to tweet it but can't, so my black ass will say it. Al Green looks like a whole ass monkey who scratch his damn ass and sling S in a cage all day. You know what? You talking about Al Green? Don't you do it? Don't you do it? No, don't you do it? No, because despite how she might identify, She is in fact a black woman. Okay, so just don't. You said when you started that you wasn't going to talk about people's physical appearance. You said you was going to leave physical appearance alone. You was just going to talk about what people do, and you've been good with that. You didn't even attack when Marjorie Taylor Greene's hostage boyfriend, when he said that conservative women were more attractive than liberal women, called liberal women ugly and manly. You didn't even really go at him for that. And he left a lot of possibilities for you two. I mean, did you see them at that dinner? You didn't even say nothing about none of that. So you've been good. You've been good not attacking people physically. I know she deserves it. I know she did. I'm not saying she didn't ask for it, but you know what I mean? Just you gotta, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to take the high road. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to take the high road. That's a cornball right there. That's cornball. No, because you would be disrespectful if you didn't give her what she asked for. That's what she asked for. That is what she asked for. So why would you disrespect her by not meeting her on her level? Come on. Now, Leverne Spicer, when Marjorie Taylor Greene was screaming out at Joe Biden, was she a monkey? Was she a monkey? You got monkeys in your tweet history for her? Or how about when she was accosting mass shooting victims on Capitol Hill? Was she a monkey? Is Nancy Mace, you got monkeys directed at Nancy Mace for screaming on people in the bathroom? You got monkeys directed at her? Matter of fact, I will give you a Democrat. I'll make it easy. You got any monkeys labeled at Fetterman for walking around Capitol Hill looking like he want like Omar Little, like he want to slide on his ops? Do you have any monkeys directed at any of them? You know what I mean? Just like somebody do a nice little search. Can you find me any monkeys she got directed at white people? Can we find? Or do we just get the monkeys? We just get the monkeys. Okay, here's a question. How is that Apple boycott working? Matter of fact, did you post that from your iPhone, or are you fully into the Apple boycott? Is that what you're working on right now? And I'm surprised you even had time to tweet, given what a big fan you are of the NBA. I mean, obviously you had to defend Kyrie, right? You had to defend Kyrie, and clearly you're a big fan of the game. So I'm curious like how you even had time to do this, and have you figured out any of the pros and cons of COVID versus HIV? Has anybody gotten the opportunity to point that out to you yet? Or you know what you could do if you still have that iPhone? You could figure out where the Indo-Pacific is. That would be a good thing for you. That would be a good thing. Geography would be a good place for you to live, I think. I think you getting some good geography and trying to really make sure that you don't keep self-owning on social media would be good for you. You know what they also have online, Leverne Spicer? They have these online Bibles now. They got these whole online Bibles, so you can feel Jesus close to your heart, and you can read some of the stuff that he said, like when you talked about, Jesus in the pronouns, even though I am he is pretty much what is yelled at least 15-20% of the time after a wide receiver scores a long touchdown. I would think I am he or I am him would have crossed your path by now, given what a big sports fan you are with Kyrie. One good thing too that I do like about these new phones, because you even though you got an iPhone, they still keep some of the basic functionality of the old phones. So if you need like a calculator or something like that, like if you in your day-to-day, if there's like some sort of math problem that really tricks your brain, like a 1 + 2, something like that, 1 + 2, equaling 3, like that would be something that you can do on your phone. So you could do big things like figuring out where Japan is, or you can do small things like 1 + 2. That is the magic of these phones today. And you can keep up with what's going on in politics. You know, like you could figure out what DEFCON we in. You know, we can figure out, are we still in DEFCON 1? I'm imagining we probably are, given that Trump is in charge right now. Because of course, we never leave DEFCON 1 when Trump is in charge, correct? And by the way, because I do have to ask you, was this your post right here? Give a white man money and he buys property. Give an Asian man money, he starts a business. Give a black man money and he buys an iced out chain. We need to put fathers back in the homes of Black America to raise our young men to be successful. Rappers raise this generation. I think she stole that from Candace Owens. You know what I mean? The black father, you know, because Laverne, this is your first time on the platform and you went with black fathers already. You know, and she hit monkeys early, because normally they hit ghetto and hood rat. She hit monkeys early. So, and now she already hit the black father. She actually is ahead of the game right now. I'll be honest. All you other Black MAGA ladies, I'm looking at you, Candace Owens and Harris Faulkner and Michaela Montgomery. Look out. Look out. She done already gone with monkeys and fathers in the home. She sure enough did that. I wonder if Jesse Waters is going to take offense at what she just said about fathers in the home. Hey, Lawrence, hey, redact that. Don't take that back to Jesse Waters, because Jesse Waters get mad when you talk about fathers in the home. He get real sensitive about that.
All right, you gotta love how entertaining Leverne Spicer's abject ignorance is. She is tweeting that globalism doesn't work because when God created the world, he created different races and different languages. All right, I'll bite. Number one, and most obvious to everybody, Laverne, you understand that through this tweet, you're advocating for segregation, right? Number two, now I'm no biblical scholar, but to the best of my recollection, the story goes that at the beginning, everybody in the world spoke the same language, and then God created new languages to confuse the workers who were building the Tower of Babel, which was being built to go all the way up to heaven. So if this story teaches us anything, is that globalism was working perfectly until God intervened to avoid having any competition.
Laverne, didn't I just tell you that you can do a Bible app on your phone? You know what I mean? Now they got you out here looking silly when it comes to the Tower of Babel. You didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? And really, if you would have utilized your functionality a little bit better, maybe you might have understood the meaning behind Jill Scott's song.
Say, can you see? By the blood in the streets.
Now, one thing I will give you guys credit for is making sure people know that we are not a monolith. You know, because as much as that Jill Scott song moved my soul, you won't believe who was standing outside, totally unseasoned. That's right, the new Republican Party. Now, here's a question, Laverne. Any of them got upgraded? Like any of y'all got any of the big nominations, any of the big cabinet positions, anything like that? Anything? So when they talk about the Republican Party, you know, like when the MAGAs talk about this whole populist movement, y'all are who they talking about? Is that? Yeah, they must be furious y'all haven't been elevated. You know what I mean? I haven't heard nothing from them, but they must be furious that y'all haven't been elevated. And maybe one of the reasons why they probably haven't said anything because they trying to figure out why it is that y'all are talking about Jill Scott and standing outside taking pictures while they are openly erasing and redacting all things black from the federal government, including the military, as I just mentioned. But I ain't heard nothing from y'all about that. But I suppose it might make a little bit of sense, because I know you must be busy, Laverne, because you always be on social media. You be managing multiple accounts, because that's how something like this might happen. I'm a true Black American woman, and I've been Black all my life. I was born Black, and I'll die Black. My mama Black, my daddy Black. I'll never cast a ballot for that Kamala Harris woman as long as I live. Trump all the way, all day, every day. Now, this was posted on Joey Manorino's account, and I can only assume that you forgot to switch accounts when you decided to post this. So we can do a whole we can circle back on the Joey Manorino post that we have good reason to suspect is you. We could circle back around on that, but for the sake of this video, so it's a whole lot of ghettos and hood rats that get pointed at Jasmine Crockett, but as you and monkeys as you just talked about Al Green, but you made sure to say my mommy Black, my daddy Black, my mommy Black, my daddy Black. That is how you choose to express yourself while calling Al Green a monkey and enabling all of these kinds of replies when you did call Al Green a monkey. Oh, wait a minute. She called him a monkey? Okay, so I won't be stepping out on racism if I post a side by side of the monkey or the caveman, because you know what I mean? Laverne gave us all permission. Laverne gave us all permission. This is the most obvious Mammy act since Hattie McDaniel. But the difference is she didn't have a choice. You absolutely do, and you are doing it. Why is that? Why is that, Don Lemon? One more again.
It is the shortest line to the front.
Because it's the shortest line to the front. So I must tell you, Black Magas, I am so happy that you guys joined me here today, but sadly, apparently, Don Lemon was correct. You cannot be a rational Black Maga. I will still continue to take submissions. I will keep taking some. This might be a recurring bit. I think the people would like to see this process. They've enjoyed it so far. You know, everybody that didn't throw their phone away at one of y'all's submissions. I might have. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. We have reached a new subscriber milestone, and they're each significant in their own way.
You is kind, you is smart, you is important.
It's the community that's been built around this channel, whether it's you guys' comments and going back and forth during the premieres, or it's whether it's you guys' comments on the actual videos, or you guys sharing the content. Those are all things that have helped this channel reach the level that it is right now, and it is those things that will allow it to continue to succeed and thrive. So I just wanted to say thank you. Some of your comments and some of your emails, and by the way, if you want to email me, admin@reesewaters.com, if you want to make sure that I have to see something that you have to say, or if you have a suggestion for content, some of your comments and your emails have been so incredible. I actually will start responding to them, not just via the comments or via email, but here on the content itself, because it warrants that. Of course, if you would like to join this channel, there's a link to membership in the description box to all of the videos. And of course, be sure to check out my second channel, Way of Waters, where I'll be dropping content on a regular basis as well, trying to find some level of peace. That's where you first got me messed up. She gave him to him, another man, like I'm not gonna get roasted. I ain't found it yet. I'm looking for it. That's what the channel is for.